With the recent drought of news in F1 as it lays dormant before the spectacle, take that as you will, of the Las Vegas Grand Prix, you'd be forgiven for thinking that you'd woken up in 2009, with names like Jenson Button, Flavio Briatore and Felipe Massa all in the news cycle at the moment. But these names may well have a role to play in the future of F1 in setting precedents which may have impacts for decades to come, and perhaps even reshape decades past. From Button's appearance in the upcoming Brawn documentary welcoming new fans to Formula 1, with the enthralling story that made many of us rediscover our love for the underdogs of the sport, to Felipe Massa asking some very uncomfortable questions which may well blow the whole sport open. The key figures of days gone by just seem to not want to leave the sport behind. Want to know the new updates surrounding Felipe Massa's push for a title? We think there's some trouble afoot, but we'll let you decide that for yourself. And stick around to the end, because the outcome of this pressure could result in legacies crumbling and champions anew being crowned. Before we get into that, let's go over some context for those of you that have been under a rock or asleep since Max took the lead of the championship all the way back in Miami. Back in 2008 at the Singapore Grand Prix, Nelson Piquet, no not that one, collided with the wall conveniently after Fernando Alonso had just pitted. Now back in 2008, the pit lane was closed during the safety car period, putting anyone at the front of the field who hadn't yet pitted at a disadvantage. One such driver was Felipe Massa, a contender for the top spot in the championship, rendering his race all but doomed as he would have to pit after the field was bunched up and a safety car had gone back in. Long story short, Massa lost out on the championship by a gap of 1 Timo Glock, which equates to about 1 point and a legendary commentary moment. It's been long catalogued that Massa was immediately skeptical of this incident, going as far as to question the then Renault boss Flavio Briatore on a few occasions following the race. It wasn't until a year later, with Nelson Piquet, no not that one, coming out and airing some very dirty laundry, the Crashgate was revealed to exist, with Briatore and Simmons, the then director of engineering at Renault, being ousted from F1 entirely, never to return. Oh wait, scratch that. Simmons, one of the men responsible for the most infamous case of race fixing in the sport's history, is currently the chief technical officer of Formula 1. Silly me, I forgot that first and foremost, Formula 1 as an organization is just an old boys club with a much beloved sport propping it up. In a recent interview with the Track Limits podcast, Massa shed some light on the confrontations he had with Briatore, saying this about a conversation over dinner with the then Renault team boss and a few other notable figures within the sport. At the beginning of that season, many people started to talk a bit more about it. The proof wasn't there yet. I was in Bahrain, I met Briatore in a restaurant. I was with Nicholas Todd and he was there with John Alesi. We went out to lunch together and then I asked him if the crash was on purpose. From the way he answered, it was fake. No, we would never do that. But I saw it in his face. I didn't believe it. He would later go on to ask Nelson Piquet, no not that one, about it, from which he got yet another answer that only deepened his suspicions of the incident. Massa's staunch belief that the 2008 title is rightfully his has been made louder and louder in the past year, being amplified by a media campaign clearly aimed at putting pressure on Ferrari to back him in taking his side in the case, as he believes that it is not only him that got conned back in Singapore, but the team that he loves, the team which he drove for and nearly became the most recent champion of, securing a double for Ferrari for the second year running following Kimi's shock title the year before. I'm still expecting to be together and have support, because at the end, we lost the championship together, Massa told Racing News 365. I love Ferrari, it's part of my heart, and I am definitely a big Ferrari fan, and will be all of my life for everything that happened during my time with the team, with the fans, the opportunities and the dreams that I had. So I definitely expect them to be on my side, because we lost the championship together through the manipulation that happened. In the same interview, it seems like the inspiration behind Massa's recent push had been revealed, and it's not who we were expecting. It seems like the key figure behind Massa seeing his new route to take action, the man who may inspire the rekindling of the Ferrari-Massa partnership to take down Hamilton and strip him of a world title, taking him behind Schumacher's record, or not, we'll get into that, would be the man who has done more for Hamilton's career than anyone else, barring maybe Anthony Hamilton and Niki Lauda. That's right, the man who inspired Felipe to take another stab at getting his title is Toto Wolff. It appears in being such a passionate supporter of Hamilton through the events at the end of 2021, Toto may have inadvertently inspired Massa to pursue Hamilton's undoing, setting an example for what he believes he should expect from his previous team, with Massa having this to say about the Austrian's leadership and support of Hamilton. Anytime you hear about Toto Wolff talking about 2021, he is the most supportive person. So with that, I cannot really believe that Ferrari won't be on that situation with me. For the moment, they are quiet, but I really believe that they will be on my side, and I really hope that this is the case, because that is the correct thing for what happened to us. Toto seems to acknowledge his role in this, but seems to also understand that this could spell massive opportunity for both himself and Hamilton, but possibly set a precedent that would flip the sport and the previous controversial world titles on their heads, saying, "What happened to me happened to Ferrari as well." Wolff admitted earlier this year that Massa's legal action against the FIA could end up setting a precedent that may well have an implication on the 2021 World Championship. This is clearly not something that anyone saw coming. The rules are pretty clear in Formula 1. If there's a civil case behind it, it would certainly set a precedent, whatever it is. We are looking from the sidelines with curiosity. So let's say the most extreme scenario happens. Ferrari step in, all the old boys in the FIA don't do what they do best, that being conspire for the benefit of their own goals and image, and Massa gets his title. What then? Well, Hamilton goes down to 6. Oh, but then he contends the 2021 title based off the precedent set by Massa. The FIA acknowledged it was human error after all. "Toto, this isn't right. No, Toto, it's so not right. It's called a court case, Michael. We went to court." I'm so sorry about that. Anyway, so Max is down to just 2, Hamilton back even with Schumi, unless Hill decides to take action on Schumacher for the title he believes is his back in 1994. It's his right now after all, isn't it? Screw it, let's get his dad's legacy in on the action. Let's take it back to 1964 and take that title off of Surtees. You know what? How about we just let the Senna estate and Prost go blow for blow on their 2-year controversy? Do you see just how massive of a can of worms this would open? Realistically speaking, and hyperbole aside, it isn't the first case of controversy causing a change of fate in a championship. Jacques Villeneuve's title came at the behest of Schumacher attempting a certified sportsmanlike behavior moment by ramming into the Canadian, gifting him the championship by being disqualified from the whole thing. However, that was immediate. Same year, same decade even. The real danger with what Massa is proposing is the sheer extent of time that has passed. So how long after the incident is fair game? Well, Massa believes that the amount of time that has passed makes no difference and that fair is fair. Rules were broken, controversy surfaced, and consequences were dealt out. However, none of them truly compensated the victim of the crime committed. Truth be told, the saddest thing about all of this is that Massa would go on to be robbed again of the chance to win titles in the future with a head injury that he never seemed to truly come back from. The spring that hit his helmet in 2009, which changed his career's trajectory, was a freak accident. You can't take nature to court. You can't recover the years lost. What happened in Singapore, however, now that malicious switch of fates at the hands of men, some of those hands still running the sport which we so adore, may soon turn out to be a completely different result entirely. While we do feel it would be right for Felipe to get his title, we can't even fathom the oncoming storm which will change our sport forever if he does. Godspeed, Felipe, and whatever the result of this, we'll be here to provide you with more updates.